All right. Hello. I hope the audio is coming in clearly. Welcome. We are going to allow folks to jump in to join us during our live AMA webinar. But meanwhile, I'll go ahead and kick things off with some introductions. Again, as we continue to settle in, we know it's 5 o'clock, so we're either getting off work or starting to ease into our evening routine. But once again, welcome and thank you for joining us for tonight's Ask Me Anything Public Health webinar, which is hosted by LAPU, Los Angeles Pacific University. My name is Ari, and I'll be your moderator this evening. And again, we're so glad you're here to learn more about LAPU's Bachelor of Public Health program and how it can help you to pursue a career in community health and education, public health, and more. Before we get started, we just want to take a few moments to share some notes and reminders. So tonight's session will last roughly about 1 hour, a little under that. You can drop any questions that come up in our Q&A chat box. Again, please don't hold back. If there is something that comes to mind, drop it in the chat box and we'll answer as many as we can live. We did receive a lot of questions from those who registered, so we're going to be pulling from that and make sure that we get to those as well. And lastly, don't forget, we'll be giving away 4 gift cards throughout the event, so definitely stay tuned. We'll have, it'll be like a little bonus quiz that we'll be asking in the chat box. So stay tuned as I'll be, again, asking those questions and then we'll be selecting some winners. All right, let's start by introducing our amazing panelists. We have some incredible individuals that are joining us that are going to be, again, expanding a little more about our wonderful program, our curriculum, and much, much more. We have joining us Dr. Joanna Vance and also Dr. Robert Carter. And again, these 2 incredible human beings lead a lot of the conversations, a lot of the material. They're leading the knowledge and a lot of our incredible and wonderful courses, again, that you would be participating in once you join our program. So I'm actually going to go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Vance. Dr. Joanna Vance, to see if you can take a moment to just introduce yourself, say hi to the community, and then we'll pass it over to Dr. Robert Carter.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Ari. So I'm Joanna Vance. I've been teaching in the program since the beginning. So this is a new program for us. We're just getting going with it. I have been teaching at LAPU in general for over 10 years now. So in health sciences before we had the Bachelor's in Public Health program. So I'm excited to be here and to answer any questions you have. And I'm going to turn it over to Rob Carter now.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for the opportunity to participate. I'm a public health professional. I've been in public health for many years. Initially started with this program as a subject matter consultant and taught various courses, and been battle buddies with Dr. Vance for a long time. Actually, she hired me as a subject matter consultant many years ago. So I'm excited to be able to participate and talk about the wonderful opportunities in public health and address any questions that you might have.
Amazing. Thank you both again for your time this evening. So why don't we go ahead and kick it off with one of the questions that we did receive, which is there's a curiosity in regards to what types of courses are included in the Bachelor of Public Health program. So if you can share a little bit about the different courses, the different topics that we can expect if we're enrolled in this program.
You want to take the first one, Rob, or do you want me to go for it?
Oh, no, that's fine. I can definitely go for it. The beautiful thing about the Bachelor of Public Health program, you gain some foundational knowledge in traditional public health courses, like Foundations of Public Health, Epidemiology, Environmental Health, some Health Service Administration, Biostatistics. And because the program is nested in the overall Los Angeles Pacific University curricula, you also get courses in like cultural psychology and also project management. And also an important aspect, especially in today's public health environment, some foundational courses in strategic communication. So this program really balances theory, practice, and really equips students to be prepared to enter into the public health workforce, whether they are already working in public health or are entering public health for the first time. Provides that foundational knowledge that allows them to be competent public health professionals in entry-level positions.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that was such a good foundation, Rob. Thanks for that. And also, we built the program too, and you can jump in on this, around preparing leaders who are compassionate, ethically grounded, and motivated to make a difference in the world through Christian values too, which I think is makes our program a little bit unique and kind of special. And students in the Bachelor's of Public Health program who want to apply to our Master's in Public Health program have an opportunity to substitute up to 3 graduate level classes to satisfy the bachelor's major requirements. So I think that's something that's really cool about our program too, because getting a master's in public health is the next step that a lot of students may want to take, and they can get going on that right away in the bachelor's program. So I think that's really a unique opportunity as an undergraduate, and something that I'm hoping that a lot of students take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll just, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go for it.
No worries. Yeah, so I think you just hit on a very important point. Definitely, as resources and students are more constrained with financial aid, this is going to be particularly important. So any courses that a student can basically get credit for the Master's of Public Health is a huge advantage. And as Dr. Vance pointed out, the foundational knowledge nested in a Christian worldview is just something that really makes this program unique. Obviously, public health is a service-based profession, so having that foundational knowledge and foundational training, and as well as she pointed out, the courses are based in Christian values. So I think that's a huge opportunity for students to basically launch their public health careers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then one other quick foundational thing to mention too is that so public health is a pretty broad field. I think we'll probably get into this a little bit as we go, but within the program too, we have recommended concentrations for students so that you can focus a little bit more on what you might want to do specifically. So health education, human services, organizational leadership, and psychology and healthcare are the 4 recommended concentrations. So if one of those catches your eye, then you would dig in a little bit more specifically to courses tracked on that particular concentration that you're interested in. So you can specialize a little bit within the program that way as well, which I think is helpful if you already know where you might want to head with your career.
Mm-hmm. Thank you both so much. And actually, back to the first question regarding the course material, we did mention epidemiology. Would you care to share a little bit more about the definition of that word in case there's someone watching that's curious to learn more about it and interested to know what that covers?
That's a good one for you, Rob.
Yes, no. So as an epidemiologist, I can definitely take that one. So epidemiology. So when you think about public health, we generally put public health in 2 buckets. There's kind of the non-analytical and there's the analytical. So when you think analytical, you think biostatistics, which obviously that's statistics that's applied to biological problems. And epidemiology is the study of populations. So unlike medicine, where you're studying individuals, epidemiology is, how we understand how populations are affected by disease. So with epidemiologists, they often receive data sets, work with biostatisticians, and they try and analyze those data as well as participate in design of studies. So epidemiology is a growing field, it's a constant field, and in conjunction with data analytics and artificial intelligence, epidemiologists play a critical role in the critical thinking and systems-based thinking approach to solving complex public health problems. And I would like to point out that public health, when you think about as far as salaries, and we're talking about career opportunities, epidemiology is one of those areas that is one of the highest paid areas within public health, whether mid-career, senior, or entering the field. So it's an exciting area that I think is many sometimes students are afraid of because it's analytical, but I'll tell you, it is exciting to really get on the front end of research or throughout research and participate in solving problems. So I've had students say, I don't like, the analytical side, but once they get into it, they recognize that it's not as challenging as it is.
Mm.
Yeah, and just adding to what Rob said about it being such a fun and well-paid career, I think it would be a great plan for anyone who's just curious about epidemiology, at least to just do a little career search on it. I think it might blow your mind a little bit how many opportunities and good opportunities in what we know to be a really tight job market today. I mean, those jobs are still there and they're good, so it's a great path.
And to continue that discussion, that idea, what interests or passions have you seen in students who have decided to enroll in our program? Like, what curiosities, what interests are common, or maybe there's someone thinking, oh, I wonder if I'm the right fit or match for this program to dive deeper into this material. What would you say would be those interests or those passions?
So I'm teaching a few of the new courses as we get going with the program. And I have a student right now who's really interested in AI applications in public health. And so I think that's cool because that's like almost, a new career field that, I haven't worked in, and I don't think many people have. And so it's fun to watch the student kind of explore the content that we're offering and the way we're offering it, and then think about how that might be a way to get a foot in the door to use AI to really assess some of these public health measures. So I think that's pretty cool. All the students I have in the program right now have different unique interests. And I think that's kind of telling of public health. There's usually not one specific career that this tracks you into. It's not like training to be an accountant, for example, where you then become an accountant. It's a little bit more wide open, where the careers in public health are pretty varied. And so that's not to say you have to know exactly what you would want to do with it coming into the program, but I do know that all the students I'm working with right now in the program have a totally different plan in mind from each other. So another one, for example, wants to get into environmental public health, is really concerned about basically the social justice aspect of the environment. And so that student is super interested in environmental public health. What are you seeing, Rob?
Yeah, I would say, one of the things in general, after many years of being in public health and also with the students, is really desire to have a broader impact. So many students are attracted to the idea of how they can affect health, whether it's situations that they experience personally within their community, whether it's poverty, environmental conditions, certain policies that may have impacted them or loved ones or their family, and just their overall personal experience. And then many students are seeking change, purpose for, so looking for careers that they can have a purposeful career. And obviously, as we mentioned before, our program being unique with a Christian worldview, it nests well. So I think we have obviously students of various faiths, but I think in general having that foundational aspect is something I think students are really attracted to. Just really wanting to make a difference, and also as Joanna pointed out, public health is one of those careers, and students can look at this. When you look at, there's a lot of discussion around AI replacing human jobs. Public health is one of those. It's truly complementary. The human, as long as we're dealing with humans, whether that's in a clinic or basically trying to understand human problems, it will require humans. So public health is one of those areas that is complementary. So artificial intelligence, human intelligence, basically is where you get return on investment to solve problems that humans will have. So as long as humans are around, public health will be around.
Yeah. In fact, in the course I'm teaching right now in the Bachelor's of Public Health program, the assignment for this week has students partnering with AI to solve a public health problem. So that's been really fun to see how the students are, they're assigned to partner with AI to solve a public health problem. I don't tongue twister. So it's really cool to see us kind of working toward the future a little bit with what we're offering in the program. So we really designed it to be forward thinking, where our careers going, where do we see this opening doors for students. So I think that part of it's really fun too.
Mm-hmm. Wonderfully said. My the next question that was in line was going to be, what distinguishes LAPU's public health program from others? I think we kind of touched on a few areas there, but is there anything else that you would say that really distinguishes this program from others? And then we'll also kind of discuss whether our LAPU's program is recognized the same as any other CSU or UC programs as well. We can kind of pivot a little bit as well and touch on that.
Yeah.
That was another question.
I'll take the first part of the question and then pass the second part over to Rob. One thing I think is really cool about our Bachelor's in Public Health program is that we tried to tie together theoretical knowledge, which I would consider kind of textbook knowledge, with practical skill knowledge. And we really focused on real world problem solving in the design of the courses. So getting students ready to just jump into those real world problem solving situations. So that involves a lot of analyzing of healthcare data, thinking through quality improvement initiatives, how to manage healthcare projects, ensuring compliance with regulations, that kind of thing. So we want students to come out of the program just ready to hit the ground, ready to go. They've already seen these real world problems. And so I think that is something that distinguishes the program that's pretty cool. And Rob, I'll let you take the second part of that question if you still remember it.
Yes, no, definitely. So one of the things that that when you think about public health programs, and I'll start off, with what Dr. Vance pointed out, is one of the cool things is that when you have an opportunity to build a program, you're able to challenge the status quo. You're able to say, okay, what are students going to need to be successful? So around this program, we were looking at, okay, what are students not only going to need today, but how can we prepare them better for the future? That's one of the unique advantages of a program being built, not around just the core competencies of public health, but what are students going to need to be successful? Because at the end of the day, when you complete a degree, you pursue a degree, you want to make sure that what you're getting is relevant for not only today, but tomorrow, something that is truly foundational that you can build on. One of the questions we get a lot, I think, is the second question is, what's different, what's unique between the California State University schools and UC schools, and a lot of times students are asking around what's different, and a lot of times, are there things that's going to put me in an advantage or a disadvantage? And so I'll start off with what's similar, right? So whether you attend our program or theirs, they're both fully accredited by the Western Association of Schools and Colleges, WASP. So all institutions, programs actually hold full regional accreditation. So they have to meet the same comprehensive academic qualities and standards. All the degrees are recognized by employers and educational institutions. So if you receive your degree, and you want to go on to graduate school in the Madison Public Health program, we've had students. In fact, I can weekly, I'm getting from our alum that are now pursuing doctorates or going on to other professional degrees. So the good foundational knowledge that they received in the program is value added, and also is recognized across the educational landscape. So by having this academic standard, there's compatible institutional legitimacy. So and they all go through the same rigorous process. So I want to basically say that the bottom line is that from a foundational standard, all the institutions are meeting the same standards in California and what's required by the region. And so with that said, what I think differentiates us is really, like I said, the program was built from the ground up, truly foundational, looking at what students need to be successful moving forward. And so also we look specifically at making sure that every course that's in the program is enhancing the ability of students to basically take a interdisciplinary approach. So sometimes programs will have courses that's just there that may be there to basically round out the number of credits you need to graduate. We took a very, very deliberate approach to ensure that every course basically mattered and would basically it would enhance the overall learning experience of the students.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Carter, for all this wonderful and essential information. I wanted to pivot a little bit. We kind of discussed, again, the courses, what makes our program really unique, and the fact that, again, this program was intentionally created to really ensure that the student is able to succeed, to take away so much into then their future career. So with that being said, can you share what jobs are available, what different career pathways someone can take once they do graduate with their Bachelor's of Public Health? And then if you have any success stories, any alumni that you still keep in touch with, and you'd love to maybe share their current roles, that would be wonderful as well. And if anyone's watching that, has graduated, please feel free to share.
Yeah, so one of our first students actually in the program just recently received his doctorate from Loma Linda, and as a working professional, was super proud because I remember entered the program after undergrad, actually at one of the California state schools, and completed. And so we've had a number of students, but in particular, Martin has been definitely one of our shining gems, and continue to mentor students both in the master's and the bachelor's program. So from a job opportunity, students basically, whether they're pursuing the master's, we're talking of the Bachelor of Public Health specifically tonight, the entry-level positions basically, there, I would say two categories. There are the category of students that's already working in the profession, that's actually receiving a degree. The Bachelor in Public Health will allow them to enter into positions such as health education specialists, entering into entry-level epidemiology positions, entry-level services administration type positions, also healthcare project management. So what does that look like? That could be working for the state at the national level, federal level, or for a non-for-profit. So where I've seen a number of students basically seek some of their first job opportunities is with like LA County, Riverside County, and really at the county level. There are a number of like how they characterize, say, epidemiologists or health services administrators. Like they'll be an epidemiology 1, and then a 2 and a 3, and they characterize those as folks get more experience, more education. So there are a lot of opportunities actually out there for entry-level positions in public health. And one of the things I definitely want to mention that's a similarity that our program students basically, when they complete the program and they also acquire some 3 to 5 years of work experience in public health or related areas, they can actually sit for what's referred to as a certified in public health exam, which basically also provides some additional credentials, for them. So that's just another certification. It's also the certified health education specialist. So the students will actually in our program, that's another bonus. The way it's designed is that students will actually be able to be able to sit for that exam as well, which is also by having a certified health education specialist, there are specific job announcements that will either require or would like that particular certification as students enter into some of the entry-level jobs. So mid-career, similar types of jobs, just at the next level, at the more of it, maybe the mid-level manager, and then similar type of positions at the more the upper level manager or executive level.
Incredible. Dr. Vance, is there anything that you'd like to add, or any other roles or positions that you've seen our graduates, either from our bachelor's or master's program entrance?
Yeah, I mean, I think Rob did a really great overview of the kinds of jobs I had in mind too. I've seen some of my students thinking more specialized roles too. Like I had a particular student who really wanted to be a maternal health specialist. And so that would be, an example of something very specific within public health that you could be prepared for. I've had a lot of students interested in clinical research. And so with a bachelor's in public health, you can go into some of those positions more in a research assistant position and kind of grow into your research role a little bit. So that's been something students have been interested in. Lots of community outreach interest along the lines of things that Rob talked about. I've had students interested in working for nonprofits that focus on specific public health issues. So yeah, I mean, I think that the idea is that the entry-level jobs, there's a wide variety open. And then I actually have a lot of students who want to use this as a stepping stone into the Master's in Public Health program, which I think is an awesome idea too. I love the idea of using this to get started and then having a plan to go forward into the Master's of Public Health program. Obviously that's not required, but I do think that sets you up really well to be a public health professional.
I'll mention one area that I failed to mention. So in general, I would say about half the students in the more health education track, I would say it's probably a quite popular one for many students. And some of the careers that our students actually pursue with that particular track are things like health coach, school health directors, workplace wellness coordinators, and community health educators, as I mentioned before. So, and as I mentioned, that those types of professions also lend themselves to a lot of opportunity and flexibility for students. And so that concentration also, I've had a number of students actually in the past that started small non-for-profits as well. So by having that background, it does provide flexibility for folks that want to be entrepreneurs as well. They want to start their own thing. And I think you begin to see more and more of that type of spirit where folks said, hey, look, it's a tight job market. I want to pursue something I have a little bit more control over. And those are some career opportunities and career fields that basically folks can often choose their own destiny. So it's not just basically getting a degree and going to work for somebody else. A number of graduates and students are pursuing some opportunities as well as consulting services.
Yeah, that's a fantastic reminder, as I know some of the questions did lean into, can I design my own position? Can I design my own business? So again, if it's flexibility that you're seeking, if you would like to, as Dr. Carter shared, design your own nonprofit, this is a great opportunity for you to really gather all that essential knowledge and information so that you can then go ahead and begin to pave your own path in your own business. So we're going to pause just for a brief moment. We are going to post our first question for our giveaway. And the question is, LAPU's Bachelor of Public Health program is offered fully online. Is this true or false? And if you're watching, feel free to, again, chime into that chat box saying true or false. What are your thoughts? And one of the questions, while we allow, again, folks that are tuning in to share their answer, one of the questions that we did also receive was, is there support for adults returning to school? So let's say someone has either, taken a pause and is deciding to step back into the educational space. Do we have support tools for them? And LAPU absolutely does make sure to think of everything that we possibly can to ensure that you are set up for success and that you have the support that you need as you navigate your courses, your degree, your program. So not only do we have success coaches that support you. Again, if you are a student, you get appointed and connected to one success coach. This is the individual that is there to assist you with any questions, to provide you with different resources, tools. We do partner with some incredible organizations, whether that's Timely Care that has information tied to wellness, mental health. We also have tutor.com that again supports you with your studies and beyond. So yes, we have a lot of resources available, especially for adult learners who are stepping back into academia. So if you have more questions about that, feel free to reach out to us and we can definitely connect you with a team member that can share again the list of the resources and the tools that you will be connected with. All right, so the answer to the question, is our program offered fully online? The answer is true. We are a fully online accredited university. So that means that we want to make sure that we fit your schedule and that we give you the liberty to complete your course at your own pace, at your own rhythm, whether it is, after work, having your study sessions at home, possibly after you put the kids to bed, maybe on weekends, catching up on your material and coursework. There's a lot of flexibility. And again, we're more than happy to provide you with more information, but this is a fully online program and it is just about offered in every state. There are some limitations, but again, all of this information is also on our website and we're more than happy to provide you with information to connect with our admissions team members so that we can answer any of your unique questions that you may have as well. And I know we've covered quite a bit, and we definitely want to be mindful of everyone's time this evening. So we'll just dive into a few final questions. And again, if there's anything else that comes up, please drop that in the chat as well. Actually, why don't I cover one more question that came in that was submitted from someone that registered for our webinar that was going to catch the replay a little later. The question was,
I've got one more answer in me for the evening, so let's make it a good one.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll ask this one and then we'll dive into a final bonus one. But the question was, does LAPU accept international students? LAPU is currently able to accept international students only in specific situations. Again, each situation is unique. So the next best step is to connect with our admissions team. But commonly, if you are an international student, as long as you have connected with an approved partner institution, or if you're eligible for U.S. federal aid, we have a social security number, we're normally able to enroll you. But again, we're happy to talk through the options and help you take the next step if you have any questions and if you're in that situation yourself.
That was a good one for you, Ari. So I think Rob and I can take one more. So give us one more and we'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, let me pull up and see which one is a good one to end with here. All right. It's something that I think really did sparked my interest, and I know this is something that has also come up with other programs. And I believe, Dr. Vance, you mentioned this, that a student is able to lean into a concentration or a specialty. Can you share more about that and how does that work? Or do they decide that in a specific class? Or are they able to bring that up with a professor?
Yeah. So as you're working with your probably your advisor, I want to say your enrollment counselor, you can indicate that from the beginning, or it's something that as you get into the program, you can think about what your concentration might want to be. So there are certain tracks within the program, the 4 that I mentioned at the beginning, and you could take a couple classes more targeted to that area as you go through the program. So in general, all the curriculum is going to be the same for the Bachelor's of Public Health program, but there are a couple courses where you have flexibility to pick the course that's going to work best for you. And so if you want to specialize a little bit in one of the concentrations, that's the way you would do it, is just tracking those couple of classes where you have an either or option or a few options into the path that you think might be the most in line with what you want to do for a career field. So you do have the option to kind of focus a few of the courses within that standard curriculum.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for clarifying that and providing that information. All right. So again, we want to be mindful of everyone's time. So we'll go ahead and begin to close out our AMA this evening. Again, I just want to give a big thank you to Dr. Vance and Dr. Carter for sharing their insight and inspiration with us. Remember, you can learn more about our Bachelor of Public Health program by visiting our website or by completing that form so that we can reach out to you and answer any specific and unique questions that you may have. You'll be able to also rewatch the session as we will be sharing it in your email if you registered here, or you can also find this on YouTube. But once again, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope everyone has a wonderful evening and stay safe out there. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Have a great night.